What did you think? What did you could say whatever and I would never. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a ride, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Saw your face. What do I have to do to make you baby, it's you. It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Now I'm not the problem. Man, that's on you. You've been terrorizing me, you're always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. Baby, it's you.
All right, we're going to be getting started very soon here. Welcome everyone. I see you guys are starting to come in. We're going to be starting here in a minute. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.
And I would never. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a ride, but take your stuff back. glory. Shine, you can't change. Yeah. If I was Father Time, then I would change the name. So I never saw your face.
All right. Welcome everyone to Corporate Junky. Welcome all you 1,380 subscribers. Welcome to Corporate Junky. I am your host, Corp J. And you have all reached the channel that gives you a different spin on all things trending. Okay, so thank you all for being here. I see that some of you are in the chat, so thank you. Chijoke Uzoma, what's good? Yeah, what's good? Foster, yeah, what's good, man? How are you all doing? So I want to say thank you to everyone that has supported and subscribed to this channel. I am forever grateful, and I am so humbled by it. We added 120 subscribers. Again, 120 subscribers since my last video a week ago, and that is amazing. So thank you everyone who has supported this channel, who has subscribed to this channel. I'm truly grateful. So please continue to give the word out, continue to support in any way, continue to recommend, continue to share the videos. I am so very grateful for all of you. And so that being said, I do want to give you all a shout out. So what I'm going to begin doing, moving on, because my subscribers are truly amazing people from all over. And so thank you to all my Niger folks. Thank you all. Thank you to all my friends from other African countries who are not Nigerians. Thank you for all my friends also who are not from the continent, who are from all over the world, that really support and subscribe to this channel. I am truly grateful. So I do want to give you a shout out. So if you have a YouTube channel, if you have, please put it in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and call it out, so that way I will encourage people to go subscribe to your channel. So go ahead and put it and drop it in the chat, so I can give you kudos to your channel and really kind of draw subscribers to you. And in a way, that's my way of saying thank you for really supporting my channel, and I will in turn support your channel also. And so please also go ahead and tell me where you're calling from. I see Dallas is in the house. Dallas is watching. Skystream America, welcome. Go ahead and tell me where you're calling from, and so I can give you a shout out. The chat is for you guys to really, as you know, for you guys to really kind of go in there and express yourself and comment. And so as I have this video today, I'm going to try my best to take a look at the chat and really respond to some of the things that I'm seeing on the chat, but in order not to take away from my concentration on what I have for you today, because we have a great show today. We're talking about Shatta Wale today, right? So I'll try to look at the chat to see what you guys are saying and try to respond as best as I can. But you would forgive me if I'm not looking at it as often as possible, because my whole point is to make sure that I deliver the show to you all. And I'm going to really try to read your chat. Understand that if you want to be part of the show, when I mean part of the show, if you want your chat to appear on the screen, sort of like this right here, let me show you right here. Yeah, sort of like that. That is reserved for those who donate to the show. And so those that donate to the show, I will read your chat and I will highlight it on the screen. And so that's a way to really give you a shout out for those that really kind of donate to the show financially. But nonetheless, for the rest of you, I'll read your chat as best as I can. But I just reserve the screen display for those that donate to the show. Okay, a couple of things that I want to kind of announce before we get into the show. All right, so a few things real quickly. As you guys are coming in, I want to give you guys a shout out. Dallas is in the house. Oh my God, we got a couple of people from Dallas here. Sean Is that Sin K? Ariette Robinson from Dallas, Texas. Dallas is really in the house. Thank you all for being here. Continue to tell me where you're from, and I'll try to give you a shout out. Also, make sure you drop your YouTube. If you have a YouTube channel, drop it in the chat, and I will go ahead and give you a shout out for you. All right, so a couple of things that I want to talk about before I want to get right into it, because we've got quite a few things to talk about. We're talking about your man, Shatta Wale, today. So a few things real quickly. In terms of the petition that's going on, thank you all that have signed the petition. Please continue to really forward that over. We have about 131 that have signed the petition. And so the first goal was to reach 100. We surpassed that goal. Now our goal is to get to 200. So please make sure you are sharing the petition. Thank you to everyone that has signed the petition. The petition is to really have Netflix to correct a wrong statement made by the director of the afrobeat, the backstory documentary, Ayo Shenayo. So if you want to know how to get to that petition, the link is in the description of this video. So just click on it. You get to go in there and you can read the reason why we have this petition going on. But to everyone that has signed the petition, thank you so much for making your voices heard. So I wanted to just give you an update on that. Another update that I want to give you is that the channel is growing. As I mentioned earlier on, the channel is growing. I added 120 subscribers just in the last week. And so thank you all again for that. So there's a couple of things that I'm putting together in the works to really help to highlight and give a spotlight to all my subscribers and make you part of the show. Those things are going to be unveiled next year, first quarter of 2023. And it'll include a website that I am currently developing right now for afrobeats. This is where we're going to really take on the narrative and really control our narrative, so no one really talks for us, right? It'll be where you can go in and get all things afrobeat, publications, news, vlog, articles, things that are happening in the industry. So that would be a great opportunity for you to really kind of get firsthand what's going on. So I'm developing that. I will announce as we get close to Q1, I should say, which will be next year, 2023. I'll announce when we have a launch date for that. That also would include, in terms of things in the works, things for members. Anyone, you can now become a member of the show, and there are perks that really kind of go with membership on the show. A few of those perks will be obviously really members only content that you can only get as being a member. You would also be invited, members will only be invited also for a group chat. And also members, I would only highlight or feature members who have YouTube channels on my page, on my YouTube channel page. So I'll feature your channel there. So that way anyone browsing my channel will be able to see your channel and really kind of have you pull subscribers that way. So that will be things that I will have for my members. As well as subscribers. So there's a couple of things down the works. As we get closer to Q1 of 2023, I'll announce when we launch those things. So things to look out for. Anyway, all right, thank you all for being here. Let's get into the show. We are talking about Shatta Wale today. This individual is the highlight of our conversation today. I'm going to talk about Shatta Wale and the recent announcement that was made by him. So on the 23rd of August, Shatta Wale announced a media tour to Nigeria. He announced this on his Twitter platform. And right after he announced that, he obviously got quite a few responses, many of which were very negative towards him, a backlash. And the reason why he got those backlashes is people reminded him of what he said against Nigerians. And so to now have a media tour going to Nigeria, the country that he insulted, the country that he put down, is to me hypocritical, right? So we're going to talk about Shatta Wale today. I've got quite a few things I want to go over. And this is not, I'm going to try not to make this a long video. I want to get right into the point, and I want to really kind of have a good show, but I have a great show for you all today. So the 3 points I'm going to highlight on this video. We're going to talk about why. Okay. Why is he doing it? Why now? Shatta Wale for the last 3 years. And when I mean 3 years, we're talking specifically 2019, 2020, 2021. 2021 was even the worst. These are the years in which Shatta Wale was really, aggressive towards Nigerians in terms of his insults, in terms of his negative comments against the country, against the artist. He's consistently attacked afrobeat artists. The Burna Boy has been in his radar many, many times. We're going to talk about that. DeVito, Wizkid. So he is the guy that people would know for that. Shatta Wale is the agitator and the guy that has really offended most Nigerians. So we're going to talk about why is he doing it now? Why the media tour? Why? So we'll talk about that. And I'm going to remind you all, just as I've alluded to that, some of the insults that he had said in the past. So for those of you that may have forgotten or may not have seen it, I went in and dug some of them out. So I'm going to read a few of those on this show today, so you are aware and have context to the reasons why many Nigerians really came at him when he announced this so-called media tour, right? Because rightfully so, this is a country that he bashed. This is a country and people that he insulted, and now you're going to that country for a media tour. So we'll talk about that. And lastly, I'm going to talk to you guys about why Nigerians, right, and the Afrobeat artists should not be too quick to forgive this individual, Shatta Wale, for his behavior and conduct over the last few years. So we've got a few things that we're going to go over. I will tell you that I, for one, believe that this whole entire thing is a hoax, if you ask me. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's a hoax. Shatta Wale is not going to Nigeria. It's not. It's a hoax, and I'm going to tell you why that is, right? A guy like Shatta Wale is what we call a textbook narcissist, okay, to put it really nicely. A narcissist is someone who is always looking to be the center of attention, right? They have to steal the spotlight. They have to be the one talked about. And narcissists most time would go to any length to ensure that they remain relevant. And you'll be surprised what they would put up with or what they would put out there to maintain relevancy. I believe that Shatta Wale feels, or at least fits the profile of a narcissist based on his persona, his public persona, the behavior, okay? Now, we're not just going to take my word for it. We're going to go over some of the few tweets that he's put out. We're also going to discuss some Ghanaians, media outlets in Ghana who have also described him as such, right? So it's not just something that's, Corp J is saying. We're going to go over that. But here are a few tweets that Shatta Wale made mention to. So we're talking about why is he doing this, okay? Before I go into the tweets, why is he doing this? I think, let me answer that question real quickly before I go into the other tweet. Shatta Wale, in my opinion, I believe this is, and I've never heard anyone talk about this, right? I've listened to some of the coverage on this in the last week on this, and many have really not talked about what I'm about to say today. I believe it's a hoax, right? Which is why we don't have a date for a media tour. Now, it's not unusual to really kind of put out a PR out there a press release about something coming and not have a media date. It's not unusual. But I will tell you that based on narcissistic behavior, I should say, he's not going to Nigeria. What he did was basically a strategy to try to gain and see the temperature of Nigerians, right? Shatta Wale has realized that he needs Nigerian market. As a matter of fact, there was a call out. Someone called him out. I believe her name is Sally. I don't know her last name. I think. Hold on a second. I think her name is. She is with the hits 103.9. I think she is Sally Freepong Band. I think that's how you pronounce her name. My apologies if I butchered the name. She called him out. That how dare you? It is ridiculous and foolish for someone to say he doesn't need the Nigerian market, which is one of the things that he said in his tweet. And I'm going to read some of the tweets out here for you all to see. I think he's realized, I'm talking about the why now. He has realized that he needs the Nigerian market. Nigerian market is the biggest market in Africa as it relates to entertainment, movies, music, art. Nigerian market is the Hollywood of Africa. I mean, there's no question about it. Nigerian market is the biggest. Now, to alienate that market and say I don't need that market, it's a crazy thing to say. But Shatta Wale said that amongst many other things that he said in the past. So we're going to go over the tweet. So I think he's realized that his career has stalled. Okay, the phone calls are not coming. No one is banging on his door. As far as anyone outside of Ghana. So Shatta Wale is what you call a local champion. Okay, he's only known in Ghana. In terms of international notoriety, what we're seeing with the afrobeat artists all over the world, Shatta Wale doesn't have that type of recognition. I mean, I'm going to talk about, so he's seen his career stall. And I think in an attempt to try to gain some kind of exposure or try to be in the limelight, he creates what I call this hoax of going to Nigeria. But let's just say for argument's sake that this is not a hoax. I think it's a hoax, but let's just say for argument's sake, this is not. Okay. Why is he doing it? He's realized that he needs a Nigerian market. He's realized that most international labels, Sony, Atlantic, many other international stars are banging on the doors of Nigeria to work with these artists. None for him. Okay. As a matter of fact, real quickly on this, here's why I say that Shatta Wale knows that his career is stalled and it's declining. Shatta Wale did a collaboration with one of the biggest female artists out there, Beyonce. In 2019, she released the Lion King album, The Gift, in which he was among 9 other African artists that were featured in that album. 9 of them. 6 were Afrobeat artists, Nigerian artists. And one was Shatta Wale, who is a Ghanaian. And then you have the other from South African. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. Let me tell you who they were. So there were like 9 artists. Techno, Yemi Alade, Wizkid, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage, and then the other guy who I'm not really a fan of, Mr. Easy. Right? I'm not a fan of Mr. Easy. Okay, I think I've made my feelings about him known. I'm not a fan of him, especially with that with that nonsense he did in 2017, where he released a statement that Ghana's music or Nigerians' music was founded in Ghana, or was influenced, or Ghana had a lot to do with Nigerians' Afrobeat music. That whole trying to really give the legacy of Afrobeat credit to Ghana. I'm not a fan of his. And so Mr. Easy is the only, I would say, for now, the only Afrobeat artist that I will never promote on my platform. Never. I know he apologized for that in 2017, but that's the kind of behavior that is a no-no. So anyway, he was one of those. And then you have Shatta Wale from Ghana, and you have Moonchild Sanelli from South Africa, and then you have Salatiel from Cameroon. So these were the artists that were part of that whole Beyonce's Lion King. Now, all of these artists have since gone on to do great things. Now, they didn't, they were all great in their rights, to be fair. These artists were all huge already. So it wasn't that they needed Beyonce to make them big. But nonetheless, a collaboration with the likes of Beyonce on a very popular album like the Lion King album is such that will take your career to the next level, right? So these people have gone on to do great things. Guess who hasn't? You guessed it, Shatta Wale. Shatta Wale hasn't done anything great other than the fact that he sold out the stadium in Ghana last year, December. That's about the only thing that he has done since that album release, right? And again, I call him a local champion, but in terms of an international breakthrough, he hasn't done anything, right? So these are the things that he has seen in terms of his career really kind of like declining. And that's why I think he's reaching out to Nigerian artists to try to gain some kind of favoritism. And he's forgotten. This is why we call people like Shatta Wale narcissist, right? Because he's forgotten all the horrible things, which we're going to talk about on this show today. So got all the insults that he hurled at Nigeria and your artists. So he tries to reach out to Burna Boy. He knows he can't reach out to Davido. Nobody's talking to him. Wizkid, no one. Burna Boy is not returning any of his tweets. I will talk about a recent tweet that Shatta Wale really made. And no one is shunned. So he reaches out to the next best thing, P Square. He goes and reaches out to Rude Boy. I'm a fan of P Square. I really love their music. So he reaches out to them, which is a video that you guys have seen has been circulating in an attempt to kind of gain an entrance back in. So that's why he knows that his career is stalled. Another reason why he knows his career is on a decline is because Shatta Wale is a dance hall artist. That is a genre that is no longer relevant. Reggae and dancehall is no longer relevant. Reggae, I love reggae. I love reggae. I love a lot of the reggae artists, Sean Paul, Buju Banton, many reggae artists. Love reggae. But the reality is, reggae is not played in the clubs anymore. Reggae is not relevant. It's had its time in the sun and is no longer relevant. And there's no shade to reggae. A lot of these, music come and go. Today is afrobeat. In the next 30, 50 years, afrobeat will evolve into something else. So these things happen. It's not unusual, right? So reggae is no longer relevant, which is why even Billboard in 2019 pulled reggae and dancehall off of his chart and replaced it with afrobeats, right? So that is something that someone like Shatta Wale, who is missed the mark. I talked about how Shatta Wale has missed the mark in terms of relevancy, in terms of really understand where audiences are moving, right? Okay, part of what your job as an artist is to understand the wave, where people are moving towards, and understand how to really stay relevant. It's what keeps you in the game long term. If you don't know how to do that, you're just going to be a fly-by-night and a forgotten person, because people grow, people's taste buds change, right? And artists that know this have succeeded and have stayed relevant. Someone like Beyonce, right? Beyonce is a smart artist, and she remains relevant. It's not easy to do. Not easy. She stayed relevant because she listens to her crowd. She listens to what's out there. And she maintains her originality as well as what's trending. And she stays relevant, right? So it's an art. It's something that's not easy. Someone like Shatta Wale missed the mark. He has no idea what's going on out there. So I think that he has seen that decline, which is now why he is trying to now covet the Nigerian market by again coming up with a fictitious media tour, right? I think it is fictitious. I think this is a hoax, but let's just make the argument that it isn't, okay? That he's coveting the Nigerian market, the market that he insulted. So let's talk about the insult. So here are a few tweets. Here's one from December 27th of 2021, last year. So Shatta Wale says, the difference between your artist and me is that I don't fly to Nigeria to do promo because I don't need it. That's what he said. Apparently he does. Okay, let's go to another one. Here's one, and I'm going to try to, please bear with me because Shatta Wale is, when he tweets out, most of these tweets don't make sense. So they don't, in terms of grammatical and sentence wise, you have to please bear with me. And I'm just going to read it verbatim. But if it doesn't sound right, it's how it is actually, it was written. So nobody's hating, nobody here. This is another tweet. Now, this one particular tweet is in response to a lot of the backlash he was getting for a lot of the incendiary statement that he's made in the past. And so he was responding to many people calling him a hater and jealous of Nigerian artists because he's not obviously where they are. So he says, nobody's hating, nobody here. But the way you Niger people like to compare, your artists to us is absurd. Sorry for those Niger rats saying that they haven't heard my music. So he calls them rats. I haven't heard Shatta Wale's music, right? Shatta Wale to me is not known for his song. I don't know him for any song. Do you guys know one? I mean, if you know one, please drop it in the chat because I don't know anything that he trends on in terms of music. Shatta Wale is known for rhetoric and insult and emotional outburst on Twitter, Snapchat, and all of that. Okay, here's another one. I don't need Nigerian music industry to hit. Okay, I need to let those so-called Niger fans and industry players to know that Ghana industry and Ghana fans supported them when they needed fame so bad. Okay, so they should appreciate and thank you, not only Ghana but to Africa as a whole. So this is, let me make a reference to that. So this is what you often hear from the likes of Shatta Wale, those that and I've heard this also, that and it's sad that I've heard it from him and I've heard it from many Ghanaians who would say things like, oh, we supported you, we discovered you, we founded your thing, and that is amazing. That the moment Nigerian artists step into Ghana to perform, like many artists all over the world do. I mean, artists, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go around to perform, right? That's what you do as an artist. Apparently, someone needs to send a memo to Ghanaian artists because that's not something we're seeing with a lot of the artists. They don't leave their country to go to other countries to promote. But that's what artists do. They go on tours. They spend the money. It's the effort to travel all over the place. That's how you get buy-ins. You expand your fan base, right? Everyone does it. But the idea that because Nigerian artists come to your country to perform, you use that as an entitlement. Oh, we supported you. We made you who you are. That's the sentiment from that type of thing. The same thing with this whole afrobeat conversation that we're having. Fela goes over there to perform. Oh my God, we made Fela who he is, and we're the ones that made afrobeat. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? So that is that type of sentiment that you have. Yes, are they supporters of afrobeat artists in Ghana? Absolutely. But then they all support us also in Tanzania, in Rwanda, in Cameroon, in South Africa. These people love afrobeat artists because these guys go all over the place to play, as well as internationally. You don't hear people say stuff like that. Like, oh, we made you who you are because you came to our country. It's that type of ridiculous thinking. Okay, here's another one that he says. Now, anytime I say something about Nigeria, it hits them hard. Okay, this is someone he prides himself on offending the country, right? Now, you guys sing about love, but you don't even have it. All na scam. Okay, that's what he said. Your artist, he says, this is another one. Your artists see Ghana like heaven. Okay. I'm not really going to respond to that. Okay. Now, here's one that here's a recent tweet that he sent to Burna Boy, because Understand that before Shatta Wale made that announcement in terms of his media tour, he sat back down and thought about it, probably talked to his crew about this. They've seen their numbers decline. They've seen his popularity kind of like down the drain. And he has seen the influence in the Nigerian market. I don't understand why anyone would isolate and say they don't need the Nigerian market. That is your biggest market in Africa. I mean, Nigerian market is so viable and so relevant that it is known that if you make it in Nigeria in terms of your art, entertainment, movie, you've made it. I mean, that's how big that market is. I mean, that market is so huge that it's being coveted by international media. Netflix is in there. You have artists now that are, the likes of Beyonce, Kanye West, Drake, Chris Brown, Selena Gomez. These people are smart individuals that know the power of that country. Which is why also out of all the 9 artists that collaborated with Beyonce on this Lion King album, there was 6 of them from Nigeria, from afrobeat artists, 6. And so for him to say stuff like, I don't need that market, you're delusional, right? So he recently reached out to Burna Boy in an attempt to try to make peace because it's not real, of course. It's not real in terms of his its tweet. So he did this on his Snapchat. So here's what he says to Burna Boy. This is like a week ago. Lad guy, my friend, who was to be and no more my friend, is killing it in the world. Even though we don't talk, I'm so happy to see him succeed. Shout out to Burna. You are burning it, love. Yeah, that's what he said recently in his Snapchat. Now, of course, Burna Boy did not respond to that, right? Because Shatta Wale forgot that not too long ago, he called and accused Burna Boy of being a rapist. I'm not even going to read the offensive thing he said. And Twitter deleted that tweet. But we have it here. See, that's what I mean by he's being a narcissist. He forgot about calling and accusing Burna Boy of being a rapist. Right? That is the type of allegation that you make, that someone sues you for defamation of character. Period. Right? So that is Shatta Wale for you. Is the type of rhetoric. So Burna Boy obviously didn't respond back to him, right? Because why respond to someone that talks like that? So now, let me talk to you guys about. So I just taking you guys around in terms of making the argument that a guy like Shatta Wale has realized that he needs the Nigerian market. Okay, you're late to the party, buddy. Okay, I mean, this is something that you should have known back in 2019. I mean, Nigerian artists began trending back as far back as 2012, right? 2012, 2013. You should have known this. I mean, if you were paying attention, you should have known that. So he's realized this, and now he wants to covet Nigerian artists. So he goes to the likes of, Rude Boy from P Square to try to gain that thing. Now, I've seen some coverage on this. In terms of, there are people that have been talking about this whole media thing. I've watched some Ghanaian YouTubers. There's one particular one with 300 and something thousand subscribers who says on his channel, we need to move on. He's apologized. No big deal. Let's move on. Right? Let's move on. Of course, you would say something like that because you're Ghanaian. Yeah, let's move on. Shatta Wale insults a whole country. It's not your country that he hurls a whole lot of insult against. It's not your country, right? It's not your country. So it's easy for you to say, let's move on. It's easy for people that offend others, that leave a lot of wreckage, to now say, let's move on. Let's move on. How about let me insult your people? And then I come to you and say, let's move on. I don't think so. We're going to stay right here. We're not moving on. We're not moving on. If your head is big for a reason, you need to use it to make intelligent comments. We're not moving on. Shatta Wale owes the country an apology. That's what he does. We're not moving on until he hasn't apologized. And there's a lot of little nonsense he did on that tape, that little snippet that he did while he was with Rude Boy. That's not an apology. All right? And so that's not going to work. We're going to stay right here. And I'm glad that my people are not buying into that nonsense in terms of Shatta Wale and his behavior, which is why he's gotten the backlash. Shatta Wale, when he released that whole thing, got so many backlash and so many negative responses that he came out and tweeted that, hold on a second, I didn't say it was a promo. I just said it was a media tour. You know, because people came at him as like, oh yeah, now you want to go to Nigeria. Okay, now Nigeria is relevant now, right? Now you've realized that Nigeria is relevant. So he came out and like, oh, hold on a second, it's just a media tour. I didn't say it was a promo, you know, because he made that statement. Remember? He made that statement. You know, hold on a second. Let me read it again. The difference between your artist and me is that I don't fly to Nigeria to do promos because I don't need it. So people reminded him of that. So he came out with like, oh no, it's not a promo, it's a media tour. Yeah, sure, it's so different. Yeah, of course. Right? So that is why he's doing it. It's because his career is in the toilet, and those are the tweets. In terms of why Nigerians are coming at him right now in terms of his behavior and why he's behaving that way, and rightfully so. So now let me talk about why Nigerians should not be so easy to forgive Shatta Wale. And more importantly, Nigerians should not even go down this barrel of madness with the likes of Shatta Wale. Because Shatta Wale obviously fights everyone that's relevant. I don't get this guy, right? Everyone that's relevant. There's a gentleman named, he's a journalist. He's an entertainment journalist. Who really kind of handed it to him. And I think he described Shatta Wale to a T. This gentleman's name is Arnold Baido. I hope that's how you pronounce his name, and I apologize if I butchered it. He's an entertainment journalist in Ghana. Now, here's what he said to describe Shatta Wale. He said Shatta Wale is confused and inconsistent. That's what he said. And I agree with him, right? And you know the reason why he made that statement? Was because of the back and forth. You know, 1 minute Nigerians are horrible, I don't need the country. Next minute he's saying in 2021, oh, Nigerian artists are the best. Nigerians support the artists, and Ghana music is a shame. You remember that? Remember when he said that? That was back last year. This is early this year, I should say. Early this year, he made that comment. You know, so that's what they mean by it's not consistent. And he's confused, right? In terms of not knowing the market as relevant. And so that was a huge thing, and not to mention Sally, right? Let me show you guys this thing. This is I thought this was good. Let me show you a statement that was made by a lady, Sally Frimpong. Man, I hope that's how you pronounce her name. Again, I apologize if I don't pronounce these names properly. Here's what she said. This was on the Hits 103.9 radio, because she made this statement, and the reason why she made that statement was because right after the Lion King album, as I mentioned earlier on, you know, everyone that collaborated with Beyonce on that album have since gone to do great things. You know, we've seen Burna Boy selling out O2 arenas. We've seen Burna Boy selling out Madison Square Garden. We've seen Burna Boy go to Wimbledon Stadium and do a whole bunch of great things with the likes of Ed Sheeran. And we've seen DeVito sell out O2 arenas since then. We've seen Wizkid. You know, we've seen all of these things. We've seen awards from these guys, as well as many of the other artists. Not from him. So during that period in time, Shatta Wale, in his arrogance, was sort of trying to egg Beyonce to introduce her to Jay-Z, because apparently he wants to work with the king of hip hop. You know, Jay-Z isn't interested in working with you, buddy. So here's what she says. She says, how can Jay-Z collaborate with you, Shatta Wale? when there's someone like Burna Boy who eats with Jay-Z, Kanye West, and the likes of those people. Right? That's what she said. Okay. So that's those are the people that have really expressed what I call fair analysis on Shatta Wale. He's a live wire. He's what we call a live wire, right? A live wire is something that is unstable, right? And no artist, in my opinion, should work with someone that's unstable. No artist. Is he talented? Yes, I would imagine. I don't know his song, but I imagine if you were successful in Ghana and you have a fan base as large as you have in Ghana, I would imagine that you have some kind of there's something to your song, right? I don't know any of his song. I mean, I've tried to listen to Shatta Wale's song and not feeling none of them, right? But when we're talking about collaboration, people collaborate with people that are relevant, are stable. They're not going to embarrass them later on by seeing tweets like that. Can you imagine this artist? You collaborate with somebody and you're seeing that type of behavior back and forth on Twitter. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's one thing to fight with one artist. Artists do that every day. Artists don't get along. That's fine. No big deal. If Shatta Wale was fighting with Burna Boy, it wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal. That's fine. Artists fight and they all break. That's their business. But Shatta Wale went after the country. As well as all the artists in their country. And now he wants to go to that same country, supposedly for a media tour. That's not going to work, buddy. Okay, so here's why Nigerians should not forgive the likes of Shatta Wale. Nigerians should not, because when you have someone who says that type of thing, this is what you call a case study. Okay, this is a case study that many are watching. Because Shatta Wale, I guarantee you, will not be the last person that feels the need to espouse a whole bunch of nonsense, right? If you do that, right, it gives everyone the latitude to do the same thing. To say whatever they can say and then come to your country and perform and then go away. Right? That is not going to work. I remembered in this country there was a girl band. There was a group band, a female band years ago that said something against a sitting president, and I'm not going to say who that is. So it was a famous band that did that in this country, the United States. That says something against a sitting U.S. president. Do you know that their career was done after that? Now, whether you like that president or you didn't, however, those are things you don't say. They're things you don't come out and say publicly. You're going to have to watch it. That was the end of their career. There were stores that stopped selling their stuff. They took them off. They never recovered from that. They never recovered from that. That is the power you have as Nigerians. That's your power. Is you have power. There's power in numbers. Okay, you have that power. Our power is numbers. Not to mention the artistic ability, the education, the intelligence, and the skills that we have. But our greatest power is our number. People are coveting you. People are coveting you. You are like the next. You the next thing in terms of an audience that people are looking at and coveting. In terms of either on a streaming platform, in terms of talent, in terms of consumer base, in terms of all of that. That market, the Nigerian market, is it for that. Use it. Don't let people like Shatta Wale say whatever they want to say. But to be fair, I'm glad that Nigerians are not falling for this. Nigerians are not falling for that, which is why he's received a type of negative coverage and negative backlash. Again, in my opinion, I think this is a hoax. This was just a way to test the temperature of the room, And the reason why I know this is because if I was sitting in a room with Shatta Wale and his team, if I was part of this team, right, and I was right there in the room and we were thinking about, man, This thing is not working out. We need Nigerian market, right? We need a Nigerian market. If I looked at the numbers, we're looking like streaming. Our streaming is declined. We're seeing all of these international people banging at Nigerian doors and working with these artists. We're seeing these artists going all over the place and working with really top tier artists, A-list. And if I was sitting in that room with Shatta Wale and his team, I try to put myself in the minds of with the background that I have in terms of marketing and branding. What would I do? And what would be the conversation? I think in that room, what they were thinking, let's put out a fictitious, which is a dumb idea, by the way, but let's put out a press release about a media tour in this country, the same country that he has such vitriol against, and use that as a way to test the temperature. That's what I call it. I think it's a way of testing the temperature of the room, to see if people are going to just say, hey, Shatta Wale, yes, we can't wait for you to come and perform. He's a way for him to test, to kind of really gauge the temperature of what's going on. And from there, he was going to then decide to put a date behind it. And I think that was the whole point. But Nigerians aren't opening up their arms for this guy. They're not. Okay, they're not. And I think that he's seen that. I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does happen, he's not going to get the type of love he's looking for. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get the love. Not to mention the big stars are not going to be there to welcome him or to really kind of work with him. The big stars are not going to be there. You're wasting your time. The time you should have done that was back in 2019. That's when you should have done that. You should have done that 2019, 2020, 2021. Those are the times you should have done all of that. But no, that's not what you did. What you did was use that period in time to put down the country and put down the artists and run your mouth. And now you need the audiences. No, it's not going to work. So that's what I'm saying in terms of that. Let me see what you guys are saying out here. Let's look at what you guys are saying right here. Okay. Yeah, we don't want him in Nigeria. Vic says right here, we don't want him in Nigeria. You can't disrespect Nigeria and think you can come to Nigeria. It's not going to work. No, it's not going to work. ABZig94 says, honestly, it's too late for him to try and pander to Nigerians. Absolutely. It's too late. Why? Right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's too late. Not to mention that he's in a music genre that is a declining music genre. The whole dancehall thing is a done deal. I think that Ghana should focus on the young artists. Those are more promising. Jackie, Kitty. These artists are promising artists. Those are the ones that need to focus on, and they need to just leave the likes of Sarkodie and Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. They need to just put them to the side, because these artists are not going to make you relevant. They are their whole style of music, rapping, dancehall is a declining genre. It's a declining style. Nobody's jiving to those anymore. It's done. Nobody is. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Don Danny says they have nothing at all about beef. They have nothing. It's all about beef for them. Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's funny. Let me talk about that for a second. See, a guy like Shatta Wale, and this is my take. When you have someone who has really used their platform to become as an agitator, to create some kind of a beef, it's a strategy that he uses. And I've talked about this on a video before, where Shatta Wale said it himself, and I think I have a video about it when we played it. Shatta Wale said that is his strategy. When he fights Nigeria, this is him making way for his people. He fights Nigeria. He puts himself out there to do all of that because he's paving the way for his people. That is how Shatta Wale feels he's paving the way, is to be this person that we all know him to be. That is his strategy. Now, the reason why he does that, again, I'm not in his head. I don't know what this man is thinking about. But I will tell you, it's similar to a lot of what you'll find and what we found with, hip-hop and reggae. A lot of the reggae and the hip-hop music genre really built its popularity off of, beef, right? And so Shatta Wale is entrenched heavily into that whole hip dance hall reggae type of style, which is why he feels that that's what's going to work for him. So he uses that type of strategy of really creating a beef. When the rest of all these guys are trying to move on, they're trying to sell records, they're trying to make music, they're trying to, they're spreading unity. That's what afrobeat artists are doing. Most artists are doing that. They're not trying to beef, but that is the type of strategy that a lot of the hip hop artists used, is to create a beef. And so even in the past, we've seen this with the likes of, the East Coast, West Coast, Biggie and Tupac. We've seen it with Nas and Jay-Z. We've seen it with a lot of these artists. So that is a way to sell record, right? So they use that. But the danger and the danger with that is that you're not going to get the people who are really buying your record to stay with you long term. So that type of strategy only will work for street-minded people. The ones in the hood, they're not the ones buying your records. These are the ones that are pirating the record. They're going to do the illegal downloads. Those are the ones that are going to do that, right? Now, it's not going to equate to long-term album sales. You might get a little bump, a little bit, but it's not going to be long-lasting because the people that are buying records, the people that are streaming, are not interested in this whole beefing thing. They're not. And which is why you've seen a lot of those hip-hop artists, they've moved away from that because that is not what's selling. Because one thing about artists, it's one thing to sell records. I mean, back then it was CDs, right? We don't do CDs anymore. We're doing streaming now. But back then when it was CDs, it's one thing to sell records, another thing to have endorsement. That's where your money comes in. It's endorsement, TV deals, movies, those are the things. But if you are this person, it stunts your growth from having all of these other opportunities, right? Movies, clothing, ads, the likes of you being in high-end clothing companies or high-end clothing brands like, Versace, and being used in that type of thing, or being in, Ralph Lauren's, or those types of things, to have that opportunity in addition to movie deals and sponsorship. They're not going to do that. You're going to miss money. You're going to lose money. You're going to be putting money on the table because what people see you as is this gangster, right? This one that's always looking to just shoot up the place. Now that's going to appeal to, again, a small set of market. Those ones are not the one buying your records. Those ones are not. The real buyers of your records are not interested in that. So so again, that is missing the mark. But that is Shatta Wale's strategy, is to become relevant by saying incendiary things like what he does. Go on Twitter and have a Twitter war and call people out and say things and be all over the place with that. It's a perception that no one's going to want to work with you. No one is going to want to work with you. You're going to lose long-term deals and it's going to hurt because trust me, that a lot of these artists, they don't make a lot of talking about even hip hop artists and pop artists, most of their money don't come from album sales. If you know how these deals are structured, most of them don't come from that. They come from endorsement and things they get out of that. That's where they come from all these other things they do. This is why you're seeing a lot of them transition into movies. That's where the money's at. A lot of them are not, the album thing is not, the music thing, it's only going to get you so far. In terms of the real money, it's in movies. Sitcoms, TV, all of that. That's where the money's at. Endorsement, brand recognition, brand labels. That's where the money is at. Not to mention being asked to host certain things, but he obviously doesn't understand this thing and so toes the line of really being combative, which is what most hip hop artists and reggae artists have done, and they've since suffered for it because most of them have not, their careers have not gone as far as it could have gone. Had they not done that. Now, were there some viable beef that really occurred? Yeah, there was some viable beef, and these people aired it all in public. And we saw that firsthand. And unfortunately, we had people's lives lost in this. And it's not a good strategy. It is not. So I think that's what it is. So to your point, yeah, absolutely. And he's missed the mark on that. Let's see here. Let's see this. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Sean K says Elephant Man and Beanie Man. So to me, when you talk about Elephant Man, when I look at Shatta Wale, he reminds me of that. The Shabba Ranks, Elephant Man. I can't even tell who's better looking. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with this artist. I love this artist. But that's what he reminds me of. And that is, Shatta Wale should have hit the mark back 20 years ago. He would have been relevant. But today, no. No one cares about that, right? No one cares. Yeah. Value Obina says, Shatta Wale is so confused. Someone who doesn't even have any means of distribution of his latest album. That's absolutely correct. That's crazy. Let me see here. Let me see what else you guys are saying here. I'm trying to catch your comment, and thank you guys for keep it coming. Keep him coming. Yeah, Emmanuel Joel says the guy is done. Is a done deal already. I think so. He has expired. Yeah, I think so. I think Shatta Wale is done. I think he knows it too. He's seen the handwriting on the wall. He knows this is a done deal. He's no longer relevant. And he's not going to be relevant any longer. I think he needs to just go ahead and just pack it up. I think the words that most people are using now is that he needs to just stay the local champion and be recognized in his own base country as the guy that really paved the way. And he needs to really support all the other junior artists. I think that's what Shatta Wale should spend a lot of his time doing right now, is be the guy that really pushes a lot of these younger artists. And I think he would gain a lot of respect if he did that. Now, of course, I can't tell the man how to make his money. I can't tell the man not to stop what he wants to do. But in terms of having that limelight, having that, the type of presence he wants to have, he's not going to have it. He's not going to have it. It's the younger guys are doing this. I mean, look at guys like Rema. The guys like Rema are the next thing. Fireboy DML. Of course, we're not discounting. Of course, Wizkid is young, DeVito is young, Burna Boy. These are all young people. But look at what Rema is doing. Look at what Fireboy DML is doing. These guys are like that's what I think he needs to spend a lot of his time in Ghana. Is look at those artists, and Ghanaians need to really kind of push those little artists, the ones I mentioned earlier on. That's what he needs to spend his time. It's the same thing when you look at Jay-Z. When Jay-Z, at one point in his career, he knew that he was not going to be, he knew he had reached the ceiling. Jay-Z is relevant. Trust me, Jay-Z is still relevant. But at some point, you become even more glamorous and become much more relevant when you are pushing younger artists. So you have Jay-Z back then pushing the likes of Rihanna, out in the spotlight. And he just stayed in the back scene. It was a great strategy. And you have the likes of even Lil Wayne, push the likes of Nicki Minaj out there, Drake. These are younger artists, and they remain relevant. People start using words like, mogul to describe these people, because these are not just people that are just looking out for themselves. They're looking out for the industry. They're looking out for other ones coming up. You have Nigerians in music industry pushing the younger artists. That's what you would need to do. You need to recognize the times and the season in which you've had your chance. Now you need to spend your time and your resources pushing all these younger artists. That would be what he would need to spend his time doing. And stop playing this, because he's too old for this. I mean, he's too old to be doing that. And so that's my video today. Is that Nigerians should not be too quick to forgive him. Remember what he said, and let him pay for it. Let him pay for it. You know, don't stream his stuff. Don't give him a welcome party when he comes to Nigeria. None of that. Let him understand, and let many, because people are watching this to see how you're going to respond to this. People need to know that when you say things like that, it's not so easy. Like, let's move on. What? No, we're not going to move on. We're going to stay right here. We're going to stay right here until you apologize, or until what you're supposed to do, and then we can move on. We'll tell you when we need to move on. You don't tell us. We'll tell you. You know, we hold the chips. We're the biggest market. So we stay right here. And I think when Nigerians begin to conduct themselves that way, people will understand that if you're going to go into that market and try to cover that market, you're not going to say anything offensive. You're not going to do it. Okay? You're not. And if you do it, you're going to apologize. Guess what? We're using our numbers. We're using our fame and popularity. It's our time, and we're going to use it effectively. We're going to sing it, and we're going to shout it on the mountaintop. Yes, we're not, because, you know, people have insulted us for years. And so now the creator has now put in Nigeria on a pedestal. Guess what? We're going to take our time with this. Right? We're going to take our time with this. And I think that's rightfully so. And so thank you all for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up. You know, share the video, share the content. You know, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.